Hello, in this video we're going to quickly go through how to answer these two questions, and really what's happening is we are changing notation between radical notation or notation that uses the square root symbol and exponent notation, which everything's written as an exponent. The biggest difference between these two things is you're going to start seeing us use fractional powers. You will know that we will be using a fractional power because you see that rational word. Now, in math, rational refers to numbers that can be written as fractions, which is why you see this being said, hey, use a rational exponent. So all we're doing when we do these problems is we are moving around where the index and where the exponent of a given base are. This works for numbers, this works for variables. It's all really the same thing. Every single time you are going to start with your base. So in this first problem, I start with 14. Then what is going to happen is the power of 14, the 7, is going to become the numerator of our fractional power. And then my index is going to become the denominator of my fractional power. So the exponent is 7. I see that right there. I'll put that in the numerator. Then I go and I look at my index. I don't see a number there, so that is the invisible 2 that only appears for radical notation. And I write that 2 in the exponent, the denominator. Now, what this turns into is 14 to the 7/2 power. As I do this, I want you to notice that I am very clearly putting that rational exponent up above 14, right? You clearly see that and you're like, yes, that is an exponent. I am not writing it like this. That looks like something completely different. That is wrong. So again, to summarize, when I am writing as an rational exponent, the power of my base goes or becomes the numerator of my fractional power. 7 was the power or exponent of 14. It's in the numerator. It's in the top of the fraction. The index goes to the denominator. Now, if I'm doing this backwards in that second example, I keep my base the same. I use now this is called a radicand. I use that symbol. Like before, the numerator stays as the power. And the denominator, it goes in the index. And as you're looking at this again, when you see me write these indices and exponents, they are clearly smaller. They are clearly exponents or indices. They are put very specifically in certain places. If those numbers move around, we end up saying something we don't mean. So here is quickly how I could write a radical as a rational exponent. And if I give have a rational exponent, how I can write that in radical notation.